we're back with another episode of the His and Hers the Truth podcast. This is my beautiful wife.
Hi, guys. Welcome back. This is Sim. And you know what? Wow, the weather here, rain cats and dogs every day.
Well, stereotypical Washington
Northwest.
weather up here, right? Northwest weather. We're getting a
Yes,
lot of
it
rain.
is.
So hopefully you guys are not getting too terrible weather out there, wherever you guys are. So thank you once again for joining us as always, right? While you're here, please do us a huge favor. Subscribe to the channel, right? We've gotten a lot of subscriptions lately. Thank you
Yes.
so much, guys. You know, obviously, we really appreciate you guys appreciating our content, Asian culture, Asian themed content, because like I said, it's really, really important to us, my wife and I, that we get this message out there to help our Asian brothers and Asian sisters,
Yes.
but primarily Asian brothers, right? Guys, do us a huge favor, right? Smash that like button, turn on the notification bell, and of course, like I said, watch this whole video that we're reacting to. We're going to be doing another one from @ChangNation again. So very excited to react to it because I haven't seen this video yet too. But guys, please watch the whole video and then of course share and comment. As always, we are going to try to move forward, answering your guys' comments and questions on some short videos.
Yes.
All right. So that's going to be kind of the new thing we're going to try for the end of this year. Hopefully that works out great. Hopefully you guys will like that format a little bit better than having us kind of wait every month before we answer your guys' questions and comments,
So
right?
we're doing the bundle comment thing. But
Yeah.
Let's try to react, if we can.
Hopefully you can get it to you guys sooner, right? And that hopefully you guys will, again, get that answer or reaction from us. But anyways, guys, the title of this video from my brother @ChangNation is Younger Asian Guys Have It So Much Easier. Wow. I'm curious to see.
Is the old stereotype being undesirable better, or is it better to be hypersexualized and a bit uncomfortably, sexualized, right? And this might seem like a no-brainer or obvious answer for millennial Asian guys or older, but I do think for the younger Asian guys who are Gen Zs, they don't realize how things have been in the past. They grew up in this world where it's actually like pretty cool to date Asian guys. Like if you don't listen to K-pop, you're not cool, right? So they don't really understand that in the past it was like the complete opposite where, every Asian guy is deemed as like a nerd tech IT guy. But this does beg the question, is the old stereotype being undesirable better?
Okay, so that was the end of the video. Very short video, by the way. Not too crazy in terms of, but as always, guys, these shorts always have a lot of information to go through when you really start diving into it and how it relates to the truth. So, honey, why don't we tackle the first thing, which is he's making a claim that younger Asian guys, younger than him, obviously, because, we're older than Chang, our brother @ChangNation, right? I think he's millennial, so he's probably more in his 30s. And so he must be referring to probably the Gen Zs that are probably closer in their 20s right now, right? 18 to 20 something. So he's talking about that specific generation, and he's saying that they have it a lot easier. And of course, he gave a couple examples, right? He gave like the BTS group. He also gave that Netflix show. I think it was, it was that show on Netflix where they had all these competitors competing against athletic, and it was primarily Korean, right? Yeah. So what do you think about those two examples, and what do you think about his, I guess, claim that younger Asian guys have it a little bit easier?
I don't think so. I mean, if you're going to think that, okay, you have to look like BTS, those guys that dress like BTS and stuff, and maybe your life is better. But think about it. If you're still, nerdy, you're still, it doesn't matter what generation. If you're still a nerdy guy, you haven't fixed yourself up, you haven't gotten yourself better, you didn't dress well, you don't, you're not hygienic. I'm sorry to say, it's not going to be easier in life unless you're going to make some changes. The guys that he's referring to, look at them. Okay, they are working out. They're big. They're built. They're taller, right? And then the guys that are, BTS, K-pop stars, they're dressed well. Their hygiene is much better. They want to smell good. They're sharp. They're cut. They're clean. Yeah. They're put together. So I'm sorry to say, it doesn't matter which generation it is. It doesn't matter if you're now Gen Z, you're just a millennial, whatever else. If you do not upkeep yourself, you don't change your ways, you don't go work out, you don't put the grind in, you're not gonna get. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. Okay. To me. That's what I'm saying.
Like I said, obviously we could sit here and talk about some of these topic guys for like hours on end, but to try to make it obviously as brief as possible in a 15, 25-minute video, right? So, guys, the problem with Asian culture currently is like we told you guys that unfortunately we're still very divided, okay? And the problem is Koreans and shout out to Korea, right? They've done quite a bit of stuff in this current things to up the Asian man stereotype, right? From the K-pop to obviously those Netflix shows. You're starting to see a lot more like Daniel Day Kim, I think was his name, that he started in the Hawaii Five-0 series. Anyways, you see a lot of Korean actors, actresses, some of their culture is starting to become more mainstream. So shout out to Koreans and Korea to do that, right? The problem is... Exactly. The problem is Asians as a whole, we don't equate to one Asian ethnicity. So Vietnamese, right, Cambodians, Chinese, Japanese, they're not going to, whereas I hate to say it, but like you look at the white community, you look at the black community, they do get stereotyped as this one image. Right? Like you could literally be a freaking 4.0, perfect SAT score black kid, but if you dress hip hop, if you freaking are into rap, right? If you're into freaking wearing chains and wearing all that stuff, they'll equate you with that image. They don't know that you're a freaking straight A student, right? They're just gonna say, okay, well, you're part of that black culture. The problem with Asian cultures, like we don't look at ourselves as like that singular image, right? The only singular image we ever got, I hate to say it, was like kind of that martial arts image, right? From way back in the day. So my point is, hey, maybe this will change, right? Maybe this will change where like we can play off of the Korean stereo image, and maybe some of our other Asian ethnicity brothers can use that to their benefit, right? Because they know, okay, hey, this is popping. Girls are into K-pop. Girls are into like Korean drama, whatever. We can use that to obviously make ourselves as a higher value man. But like I said, that's going to be a stretch because most Asian cultures don't think of ourselves that way, right? We don't think of ourselves, oh, well, I'm Indonesian. I'm going to start being more K-pop and like dress like a K-pop star and like, like it doesn't equate. We're still more like, hey, we're Indonesian or we're Vietnamese. We're going to stick to within that culture.
But you notice just because of that, we are sort of segregating ourselves.
100%.
We are not supporting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now we got the popular person. Okay, like Shohei Ohtani. It doesn't matter if he's Japanese or whatever. He is still Asian. You should support him. We should, sort of unite. We should.
But notice.
And note. You know what I mean?
But to further our point. But to further our point, look at all the media. You don't see Chinese media propagating him. You don't see, Vietnamese, if there even is a Vietnamese, Indonesian, like, these little other smaller Asian countries. You don't see them like unifying and saying, oh, Shohei Ohtani is an Asian man. We're Asian, so Asians can be good as well, too. You only see Japanese media and the Japanese culture.
That's why I'm saying that is wrong.
So
he is still like, if you look at the black community, it doesn't matter you're from this side of the black things. You're here from LA. You're from US. You're from Africa. If you're black skin, you're black, and they support you.
Correct. They're gonna say, "Oh, hey, you're the first to do this. Yeah. We're so proud of you that you were the first to." I mean, like I said, I keep referring back to it, but like Tiger Woods is only an 8th black, right? He's more Asian. He's like, I think, over 50% Asian, but you didn't see our Asian culture promote him. Yeah. If anything, that should have been our guy, right? But okay.
What I'm trying to say is, if our Asian stars that made it, right? The stars that are Asian that made it out there, and you are right now on top or whatever else, you know what? Tell your Asians, brothers and sisters in community. You got to be vocal about it. Doesn't matter if you're Japanese, Chinese, like we're here. Are we the only Asian platform that's like saying, hey, let's unite? It doesn't matter if you're Asian, like certain things, from different countries or different,
This is the thing. I'm going to pat our backs a little bit here. I think we are. I think we're one of the only platforms that are saying that we need to unite and just look at ourselves as a whole Asian culture, at least from a westernized standpoint, right? I get it. If you're a Japanese person living in Japan or like you're a Chinese person living in China, you have no reason to
But it
to,
doesn't matter.
but
We are still connected in so many different
no,
ways.
I
You know, it doesn't
no,
matter what part of it.
I get it, but it makes sense on why they wouldn't do it because they're still Chinese, right? They're not Chinese American, they're not Japanese American, Vietnamese American, right? But the problem is in the Western culture, and this is true of like blacks and whites, right? People don't look at white people like, oh, you're freaking UK white, or you're Irish
No, that's what I'm
white, or
trying
you're
to say.
Italian white. No, you're just white. It's just like black, right? It doesn't care if you come from Nigeria, Sudan, freaking,
Nigeria.
South Africa. You're just black, right? So that's the problem. We haven't gotten to that point yet where Asians are just looked at, or at least within our own culture, we don't look at ourselves as just Asian. And that is a huge problem when it comes to obviously trying to promote and trying to freaking, how do we say it, advocate for our culture, right?
Look at when you guys fill out the paper forms, right? You got. Okay, what do you consider yourself as, right?
Yeah.
They call it white, black.
But then they start,
Hispanic,
and then they say Asian.
yeah.
They don't.
And then they didn't say.
They don't. They don't.
Group us all together, guys.
Yeah.
We are all together. It doesn't matter what part of the world you are at, right? If you're Asian, you're Thai, you're Chinese, you're Cambodian, you're Laotian, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Asian or Filipino. You're considered Asian. Okay.
Yeah.
We are grouped as one on that checklist.
Okay.
Just like white people.
Yeah,
You're-
yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
from
yeah.
France, whatever.
Let's-
This is what I'm trying to tell you guys. I don't want to be like the only one on the platform. We got to make a difference. Everybody's got to unite together.
Let's-
You see us Asians brothers are successful. Let's boost them up. Just like black people, white people boost each other up. Why are we not doing that in this Asian community?
Okay.
Sort of
Let's
tired of that.
that's like I said, great points. That's the first thing. Second thing we need to talk about is he says he's trying to make this case that this new generation of Asians, Gen Z's particular, starting with Gen Z, and then obviously whatever our kids' generation is going to be called. I can't remember if it was called Gen Y or whatever. This new generation, they're saying they're not going to even know because they didn't have to grow up during the time of Gen Z, X, or millennials, right? They didn't see quote unquote the racism or whatever, like the negative stereotypes, right? Because now they have all these, positive stereotypes to look at. What do you think about that, honey? So he's saying like this new class of generation of Asians, they're not going to even realize how bad they have it.
Well, I mean, it's still around. I mean, we look at it when we had the COVID.
Yeah.
Asian people were, I mean, they're still seeing that now.
Yeah.
I mean, stereotypes are stereotypes for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, if we're not going to change anything, guys, and we're not going to be pushing forward to support one another and be positive and everything, it's going to be a stereotype that's still negative, no matter what generation, Z, X, whatever, Y, or I don't care,
Yeah.
Zippo. It doesn't matter. It's going to still be there. If we don't make a change, it's not going to change. Just like if you're not going to make a change in yourself and you're going to fall in that negativity that you can't do something when you want to do, you're always going to be there. You're always going to be in that negative zone.
Yeah.
You know? So
This is the problem. Let's look at what our brother Chang Nation is trying to say. He's using K-pop, and then of course he used, I think, which is the better example, was that Netflix show where you had all these athletes that are super in shape, right? Let's tackle K-pop. Once again, like I said, the problem with K-pop is it's very Korean specific, right? Yes, I know some of my Asian brothers out there are starting to copy the haircut and the styling, but in terms of just having the K-pop thing, it's a very Korean thing, right? The second thing you have to realize that K-pop is not a new thing, like saying, oh, it's new in the sense that it changed what women are into. Women, well, my point is, women are into fame and they're into money, right? So what does K-pop stars have? They have fame and they make money, right? So the old adage that we always talk about on this channel is the same. If you make money and you have fame, status, right? Because that's nowadays that status and that fame is even more wanted. Right? Back in the day, like we talked about, back in the day, people were caring more for just finance and resources, right? But now women seek attention, women seek freaking fame and status even more so. They might actually go out with a guy that has status and fame over the money more. Because like I told you guys, women really have a lack, and that's putting it nicely, a lack of financial awareness, right? They don't care how the bills are getting paid as long as it's getting paid. They don't care how much money you make as long as they don't have to think about the money, right? That's that's
We want
women.
security.
Women's mindset. They don't care if you make $6 million a year or $20 million a year. They just care that do I drive a nice car, live in a nice house, kids are taken care of, right? I go vacation, I get to buy stuff what I
Right, pay
want.
my bills.
Yeah, in
That's
essence. So
basically
that's why they have no sense of money. So my point is, nowadays in this modern day market, status and fame trumps even that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of dudes, and I get it, guys, it's still the top tier dudes that have a lot of money. But you'll notice that the top tier dudes who are just money, right? They have just money, but no fame, no status.
And the women don't stick around.
They don't care. Yeah, women don't like those guys. They actually make fun of those guys, right? Because they'll actually use those guys. They'll freaking, use them for their money, right? And so my point is that K-pop thing is not a good, unfortunately, a good reason to say that this younger generation is going to. It's always been the truth. If you can gather your values high as a man, women are going to like you.
Yep.
And this is the other thing I keep talking to you guys about the stats, right? Korean men in general are the tallest Asian ethnicity. You don't think that there's just a good there's just oh my God, there's a reason behind that, right? Like, why do women like Korean guys more? Well, they just happen to be taller. They just happen to be the Asian ethnicity right now with the whole K-pop drama. So my point, my brothers, is if you're a Vietnamese brother, if you're a freaking Indonesian brother, if you're a Cambodian brother, if you're a Japanese brother, right? Shohei Ohtani. They don't care if you're Japanese. They don't care if you're freaking Indonesian. If you're tall, if you're successful, and you're famous, that's all it freaking matters.
You're
Okay.
getting the woman flocking at you.
Women don't even freaking care if you're an alien from another freaking damn race, okay? If you're freaking tall, if you're freaking rich, and you're freaking famous, they're gonna get with you. That's the lesson of this channel,
And that's what I was
and
trying
in
to tell you.
general
It
the
doesn't really
truth.
matter what generation, Z, X, Y, whatever. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Okay, if you don't fix yourself up, if you're not gonna, grind and get better, trust
Yeah.
me, you're not
I
gonna
think-
have a flocking woman.
I think as Asian men, we need to personally, and I mean just us personally, don't worry about the race. Don't use the race as your sticking point, as your barrier to become better. Now, I will say this for my Asian brothers, and this is kind of like obviously me, being honest as well too. Use your race as an advantage, right? Like you see black guys doing it all the time, right? Like they use like, oh, I'm black, I'm the it freaking ethnicity right now, right? I'm kind of the hot, like everyone thinks I'm cool, right? It's kind of like nowadays, let's be honest, right? Having that one cool black friend is a cool thing to have, right? It tells people that you're not racist, first off, right? A lot of women do this too. Freaking, let's not capture ourselves right there. A lot of women say, well, if I get with black guys, that means I'm not racist as a woman, right? It's 100%. It's the perception, right? So it's like, hey, I'm inclusive. I hang out with black people. I'm freaking inclusive. I'm not freaking a racist. I'm not a bigot person, right? That's our current generation. So I would say to my brothers, as an Asian brother, use that to your advantage, right? Be that one cool Asian guy that everybody wants to hang out with. Be that token Asian guy. But unfortunately, it doesn't trump your values. If you're that goofy, short round, right, like freaking 16 candles, goofy, comedic Asian guy, you're still not going to get the results. But if you're that tall, successful, handsome, famous Asian guy, then everybody's going to want to hang out with you. And they're going to say, cool, I got that one Asian friend. So you know what? I'm all inclusive. Right?
And if you're that round, goofy guy, come on, fix yourself up. It's not like you're born with it. You can actually change. It's not like, that people are like, oh, well, it's me. Well, you know what? If you want to get yourself better, you can. You don't got to always be goofy. And sometimes, you know what? Being goofy sometimes do get the ladies. And if you play instruments, that might be
the artistic thing is one thing, right? Being comedic is one thing because it actually shows confidence. It shows that you kind of like lack of care, right? But the point is, when we talk goofy, I'm talking about the goofy guys that don't know how to be comedic, right? Because comedians know how to present themselves. They're confident. That's the reason why they actually can stand up on stage and make a lot of money. When we're talking your stereotypical goofy Asian guy, we're talking about that shy, quiet, introvert, don't know how to talk to people Asian stereotype, right? I'm not talking about like a comedian that actually knows how to go out on stage and actually talk to people, right? So my point is, once again, all those little I guess like tricks aside, there's no trick. You still have to get the value high to be, unfortunately, accepted, right? Because if you look, and then, like I said, use that to your advantage. What is the thing that you always see in social media image right now, right? Social image right now is indoctrinating our society to be inclusive. Every commercial you see, right? White guy, black guy, Hispanic guy, Asian chick, right? That's kind of this. You never really see an Asian dude, but they, in terms of being inclusive, they always show white guy, black guy, Hispanic guy, Asian chick, white chick, right? That's kind of how they show, or Latina or Hispanic chick, right? Look at the one race that they're always leaving out. They're always leaving out the Asian guy, because the problem is the Asian guy, guys. It pains me to say this, but the reason why we're always left out of this freaking this ad, if you want to call it, like this all-inclusive ad, is because our values are not there. No one wants to be part of the Asian dude. No one wants the Asian guy around, right? So at the end of the day, the lesson is you still have to get your values high. So that way we're going to be included in this group, right? The only race or group, ethnicity, unfortunately, that will get included in this freaking picture or in this ad is black women. Because they'll include that fat, loud black woman because that's their stereotype, right? But the problem with that stereotype of the black, loud black woman is, unfortunately, they're still not desired by men.
It's still a negative.
Right? So they're still not desired by men. And so just like my Asian brother, we can ask to be included in that ad.
We can change ourselves. Change ourselves.
Well, we need to change ourselves. But my point is, even if we don't change ourselves and we continue advocating to be included in the ad, we're still going to get the same results as the black woman because our values are low. You're still going to be that short, goofy, ugly, nerdy looking Asian dude on that ad. You're not going to be that freaking white or black dude that all the girls are looking at as being the available dating options, or even the Hispanic, the Latino lover looking handsome Latin guy on that ad, right? You're still going to be that goofy freaking Asian dude. And once again, that's not going to get you the woman results that we want, right? So good on our Korean brothers to change our image. But like I said, that's only one step. And yes, I disagree and kind of agree with my brother at Chang Nation. We can use that as stepping stones to go in the right direction. But Asian guys, until we learn this truth, until we learn that it's about the values to get the truth, it's about the values to attract the opposite sex, and we need to work on that, nothing's going to change.
There will not be change. And see, booyah, your wife is right.
Yeah.
You got to make changes if you want to see changes, That's why I always tell you, mindset reset. You don't reset that mind and you don't believe in yourself, guess what?
Yeah,
nothing's gonna happen.
Part of it, the perception of the media is part of it, right? If we can change our image through these changes, like what the Koreans are doing, great. But at the same time, reality has to match the perception, right? So if the reality is still that we're a bunch of short, introverted Asian guys, that's not going to change the perception, unfortunately.
Yeah, so
right?
you guys got to
So
change
we
it.
still
Don't
got to
be that
change the
introvert.
perception as a whole.
Don't be that introvert.
All right.
Anybody can change. Anybody can make some changes.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Check you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye. Join us as we give you guys a glimpse into our lives, give you guys advice, hopefully give you guys entertainment value as well too, and provide you guys better outcomes.
Yes.